Hey boaters, Keith McGowan here. I am the Outboard Dad, here to help you have a better boating experience. Today we're going to take a quick look at this. I think it's a late 80s 150 horsepower cross-flow motor. People love these motors. I took this in on trade as a bad motor because he was told it had a bad cylinder or two. We did a compression check. Everything was in the 80s, and I think I had one in the 70s, so it really didn't look good. We scoped the cylinders with the camera, saw some marks, but then we can't tell if those marks are deep or if they're shallow, so we went ahead and pulled the head. So first, don't forget my used outboard motor buying guide is what this gentleman wishes he would have bought before he bought the boat with this motor, because he could have done those compression checks and found out that he needed another motor. Fortunately, I had another 150 horsepower that I was able to sell him. Took this in on trade, and I said, if this is worth rebuilding and I make money off it, I'll certainly share some with you. Now, my question to you is it worth rebuilding? So please send me an email at keith@outboarddad.com with proof of purchase of my guide on amazon.com for $20, and I'll give you a free half-hour session over the phone because you're getting ready to look at a boat. You're getting ready to look at a motor. Let me know so I can help you have a better chance of longevity, and a motor that's been well maintained is key. Now this motor has been well maintained. Check this out. Just as a quick inspection, we went ahead and pulled the thermostat and poppet valves off, and they have been replaced. They are new. I do notice that this thermostat is slightly open. Not the greatest thing to see, but probably not the end of the world, but they have been replaced. The head, all the bolts came right out. A lot of times you break off head bolts. I think someone's had this head off, and I'll show you why. First thing I noticed was nice clean wording on the gasket that usually gets faded out, or it doesn't exist on the original one. So someone had this head off. The next thing that tells me that someone had this head off is if you look in the top of that head, you can see all those like scratch marks. Somebody was in here and cleaned this out and already pulled this head off. Maybe they were hoping it was just a head gasket problem. You'll see that a lot of times where guys will say, oh, it just needs a head gasket that's leaking, that's all, that's why it has low compression. Well, that was attempted here, fail. So let's take it a step further. We went ahead and let's take a look at these cylinder walls, a little up close and personal. So when I take a look at this center cylinder and I look up top, look at that. I have some really bad heat marks on my exhaust side. Now if I put my finger in here, I have some scratches, but nothing major. So that cylinder not too bad, but let's crank this over and let's check out this top cylinder. Ouch. It is roached out. So they're not deep gorges, or gouges, but it is bad enough that I can get my fingernail in there, and that is, I see little bits of aluminum on that. Let's go down to the lowest cylinder now. And this is just one side of this V6. And boy, you can see that's roached out as well, right? Didn't even have to shine my light on it. And all of the cylinders up by my exhaust also have heat marks on them. Before we pulled the head off of this, we did some simple tests that are found in my used outboard motor buying guide. We did a compression check. That's number one. While we were doing our compression check, I simply put the spark plugs in their wires and I kind of put them against the block grounded so I could see if I was getting any spark. Is it the perfect spark test? No, but it's going to tell you if there's spark or not. So my buddy Tim, who just left a positive comment for his Yamaha HPDI, I really appreciate it. Tim was on the phone with him for almost an hour. He bought my guide and wishes he bought this guide before. Now he did a compression check. This is the key with having a guide. When you have a guide, you don't forget, you don't miss things by accident because it's written down. Do you think that I remembered all of this stuff? No, I had to write this and rewrite it and then, oh yeah, I have to add that to that. Don't forget to check this. So he went and did a compression check on his HPDI. It was beautiful. He had great compression. I think he said it was 120 pounds across all 6 cylinders, but he didn't stick the spark plugs in. Got it home, tried to fire it up, cleaned the fuel system. I think he invested some money in a lower unit as well. It had an SEI lower unit that was damaged, so he bought another lower unit. I think he also said a new power tilt and trim motor he put on it. All this maintenance work that he did plus the purchase of the motor, but it doesn't have spark. So now he's chasing down electrical problems. What's the best thing to do there? Now, if you're a Yamaha mechanic and you know exactly pinpoint what the problem is, which I kind of doubt because you got to do some tests to find out, which he's already gone through the stator and trigger base and done a bunch of tests with the coils, you know, checking ohms on the coils. You can do all the tests in the world. But if you buy just a coil, or you buy just an EMM module, I think there's 2 on the HPDI on the V6, and just that one, you're probably going to need both if they're bad, and that doesn't do it. How do you know for sure? So my suggestion to Tim was find someone with a used motor that matches yours, same make and model, and that's blown, that has a bad engine block, maybe it threw a rod, but it has spark. Then take all of those electronics. Again, it's just an opinion of mine. Let me know what your opinion is. Also, I want to know your opinion. Should this be rebuilt? I'm going to look up the model number. I think it's the late 80s, like an 89. Maybe it's a 91. I don't think they made cross flows in the 90s. Yeah, they still made cross flows in the 90s. So it might be an early 90s motor. It has the red plug on it, so it's obviously pre-96 where it had the black square plug for the ignition harnesses. So you tell me, what do you think? Is this worth rebuilding? I kind of took it apart, but when I did my basic test, sorry, that's what I wanted to get back to from my guide, I did not only a compression check, but I also found that one cylinder was not sparking. Now, you're not going to get an OEM power pack anymore from anybody that I've been able to find, but I can get an OEM one used. I got plenty of outboard guys, maybe $100 I could put one into this. But, you know, do I want to invest that $100? And do I want to redo? I've got 3 bad cylinders here. I'm going to pull off the other head just for the fun of it to see what it looks like, and I'll show you what's inside. But could you imagine doing all 6 cylinders on something like this that's this old? Not sure it's really worth it. Let me know your thoughts, and let's pull the head off the other side. All right, so we pulled the other head off. Amazingly how clean this is. Let me show you this, but this side looks really good. Let's check it out. So first of all, as we can see, it is really clean. Water jackets are clean. For an older motor, this has been well taken care of and doesn't have a lot of corrosion. Now I do see some little rust marks maybe, but nothing crazy, like maybe this motor sat a little bit, but no pitting. Yeah, there's a little line here and there, but there's really no really bad score marks or anything. These cylinders could probably just be re-ringed. You know, they're nice and shiny, so they probably need to break the glaze. There's a little mark there. I can't get my fingernail in it. So again, this could probably be re-ringed on this side, but do we want to take that chance? Here's another little test we're going to do. Let's take a look at the bottom cylinder. Let's take a look at up by the exhaust. It looks clean, not overheated, but some guys like to take these pistons and move them like this, right? It's got a lot of play in it. Now that's not really a good measurement, but let's talk about it. So let me know your thoughts as my neighbor cuts the grass over here with his lawnmower. I hope it's not interfering too much with this particular video. But just real quick, send me your comments. Let me know, do you think it's worth rebuilding this motor? Rest of it looks clean. I didn't check the lower unit oil yet. I didn't check the power tilt and trim. I know it functions, but I didn't see how corroded it is. But just give me your opinion based on that, and then we'll do a few more checks on this motor. I'm thinking probably not, unless there's somebody specifically looking to get one of these motors. Let me know your thoughts. Please comment, send me likes, and please subscribe. And we look to see you out on the water. Have a great day.